Good morning, everyone. I am back from my holidays and anxious to get back into my craft room. So we've got a card that we're going to make today, and I'll share a bunch of Stampin' Up! News that's been happening over the past, 3 weeks since I've been away. So let's go down to my desk. Right. For those of you just joining me for the first time, I am Marg from Creative Stamping with Marg, and this is my usual Wednesday morning video. Okay, I've got, as you can see, lots of things on my desk. So let's start with the product of the month. The product of the month this month for the month of February is the Painted Illusions 12 by 12 designer series paper. And you get 4 patterns, 3 sheets of each, so to equal your 12, and they're two-sided. Beautiful paper. Very watercolor looking to me. I don't have it yet, but when you purchase $100 worth of Stampin' Up! Products, you can add this on for $5. So that's the February one. Okay. Bonus days. We collected bonus day coupons. If you had orders over $60 during January, you would have received in an email a coupon code from Stampin' Up! And now is time to redeem them from February 3rd to the 28th. That's when you need to redeem them. Don't forget to redeem them, because once February 28th comes along, they'll be not good anymore. So make sure you redeem them if you got some. Okay, the Join special is on. This is just for the month of February. If you join Stampin' Up! Now, that means choosing $165 worth of product from any of the catalogs or the online catalog. For you only pay $135, you will also receive the new Stampin' Positioner. This is a great tool to have if you're doing a lot of cards the same, if you were in a swap and you were doing a lot of cards the same, or if you were doing a repeat pattern, or if you're someone that struggles with getting their sentiments straight. This is a great tool to own. Anyway, you will get this positioner free, and it's not available to anyone. It was available to demonstrators prior to this promotion for you, but it's not available now. So the whole month of February, it's only available to new people that join. So if you need help or any more information about that, you can always contact me. Okay, I'll put that to the side. All right, 2 new kits were released at the beginning of February while I was away. I haven't seen them in person, but one is called the Happy Happenings Kit. That's this one here. The other was called the Best Ever Kit. So they look really cute. I love the shape of these cards, these big ovals. So that's on the online. You can check those kits out online. The new craft class, this is a card class that's available. It is being held February the 19th at 2 p.m. If you order this, it's $34. The number is 170929. You will get, they will send you the link to the class, and once you've purchased it, you own it, so you will have it forever, and you can watch it that day at that time, or save it and you can watch it at your convenience. They are using the Lovely Blossoms suite of products, so you would need to have those. You can look online and you can see what the things are that you need to do this class if you're going to follow along and use the same paper and stamps and everything with them. But I'm sure all these ideas can be transferred to other stamps and other papers. So lots of great ideas in this. All right, let's get to our card. I am going to, one more thing I want to mention is the last chance list, because I am using some last chance products today. Things that are in the last chance list. They added a bunch of new things to the last chance list. So textured notes stamps were in the last chance list, but they've dropped the price now for the stamp set down to $19.20. It's a 20 cents. It's a lovely stamp set. I've used it a lot. Now they've put the dies on. These were my favoriteest dies, the textured notes dies. I use them so much. They are $34.40. So we are going to use those today. All right, just so that you know. And we also, they put the brushed brass butterflies in the last chance list. They're down to $11 for a package. I am going to use those today too. So those are some last chance things that you need to look, and you'll see them online. Okay, I need my card base. We are using basic white card base today, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Just a traditional fold like this, okay? You will also need a white piece, and this is where I used my textured note dies. I cut a white piece, you can see the edge there, for my inside. I've already done my stamping, and today I'm using, and it is unfortunately a discontinued stamp set branching out, but I love the words in this, so this is the stamp set I am using today. The paper, the designer series paper we're using is the Florals in Bloom, and I'm sure you remember it's still in our catalog. Beautiful paper, so we're using that sheet right there. So this card has different names. I've seen it called different things. I'm calling it a pleated front card. So we have our inside piece. I also have 2 squares cut from the Stylish Shapes. So this size square, and these are the ones that have the perforations on the edges. And here's the other square. Now I've stamped it like a diamond, so there's the words for that. So you also, I'm using that, and I also cut the middle size that fits in between out of vellum. So there's a square out of vellum. So that's these dies. And I've used not the smallest one, but 1, 2, 3 to make all these. Okay, so I have those. I am also have a piece of garden green cardstock that is 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go right on the front of our piece. I'm sorry, that's not 4 by 5 1/4. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, because I wanted just a tiny little bit of white to show. So I've made it a little bit bigger. Okay, the designer series paper, I've already told you what we're using. Here's the pieces. This piece was 6 by 6. I cut 3/4 of an inch off the bottom, and then I cut it 1 3/4 off this edge, 1 3/4 off this edge. So the middle piece is 2 1/2. These 2 pieces are 1 3/4 a piece by 5 1/4. And I have a 3/4 inch piece that I think I'm going to use on the inside. And it can be the piece from the bottom. Mine, I don't think is. I think this came from the side somewhere, but it doesn't matter. You need to look at your pattern. This does have a direction, so you need to make sure that you're got this lined up right. So to start putting this together, I think I'm going to build onto my green piece, and then I will put this green piece right onto my card. So what I want to do is I want to center this piece. Now I will have, this piece is 5 3/8, and this designer series paper is 5 1/4. So I will have a little bit of edge, you can see at the top and at the bottom, but I want to center it basically side to side. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to just eyeball it to get my, I'm going to use Tombow liquid glue for this if I can today. You know, I haven't used my glue yet today, so let's hope that it will work. There we go. So I'm just going to put glue. This is the back side of this paper. One thing I will say is I am using the same pieces of paper for all aspects of this. And then when I fold this, you will see the other side. So what I'm saying is you have to like both sides of your paper. I will show you a card where I use 2 totally different pieces of paper. Oh, I thought I was getting that to flow, but it's not. So just give me a second. I keep my pin handy here so that I can give that a little bit of a nudge. There we go. And I'm just going to glue this, like I said, just eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I kind of want it to be as close as I can to the middle. So I am just going to, looking side to side, and just put it down. I think that looks good. You can measure it if you want. It doesn't need to be that precise. I am making sure that the pattern is going the right direction. Now these pieces, They are 5 1/4. So I marked on the inside, I took a pencil and I marked at 2 5/8 because that's halfway. So you can see that because this piece is going to go here. I marked it there, and what I want to do is I want to fold my paper back, and you can see I've already kind of done it. All I did was I held my thumb here and I folded my paper back. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and you can decide how far back you want to fold it. I thought the easiest way for me was just to fold it so this point touches the edge of the paper, and then that is easy for me. This part doesn't have to look pretty, and it doesn't. I'll hold mine up in a second. So then you're going to do it the same with the other end, and you can see I'm not getting my point very perfect there, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to cut. That's where we're going to put our sentiment. I need my bone folder. So you can see that I didn't get that exactly to a point there. It doesn't matter. Like I say, I'm going to put my sentiment on there, and that's these squares. So it's going to cover it up. So that's not really all that important. What's important is what you do to make them kind of look the same. And then when you put them on here, you can just decide how much green on the edge you want showing, and then they're just going to be laid like that. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. So again, I marked it in the middle, 2 5/8, and I'm going to fold back. Again, I had my finger here, and I'm folding back so the point is there, and I just need it to get put down. And again, it even looks like I ripped my paper a little bit there. It doesn't really matter. Other side, just fold it down like that and use your bone folder. Now, I've seen people actually glue these flaps down. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to leave them loose. Just gives it some interest sake. Now we're going to put the card together. So like I said, you can space these as close to the edge as you want. Again, you don't want to see the gap of your paper there, so you want to make sure that it's covering that. So I'm just going to put my liquid glue on here like this. And again, this is a really easy one to do, and it's a great one to use a 6 by 6 piece of paper. Now this paper I'm using is actually 12 by 12, but like I say, the other sample I made was out of 6 by 6 paper. So I will show you that. Okay, so that's as easy as that is. Just putting these on. And like I say, you can glue these down if you don't like the fact that they stick up. But once I get my greeting on there, I think it will hold it down a little bit better too. Okay, I think that looks good. So that's what it looks like all the way around. I have a nice border. Okay, now I'm going to attach this to the front of my card. So it's just going to be attached, just again, just with a little bit of white showing all the way around. Just like that. Okay, so that's the way that looks on the card. There it is. Now let's get working on our greeting. What I had thought I'd do, I cut these squares, but I wanted to use them like diamonds. So I thought I would put one down like this, and I'm using my grid paper. I don't know if you can see through my silicone mat, but I can. And I got my points lined up here, and I actually can line them up with the dark lines here, so they're just perfect, just like that. Okay, and then I want to put my vellum piece on, and I'm just going to dry fit this for now. And you can see how I stamp my greeting so that it is on the diamond, and I just thought I'd put them like that. I am using the Greenery Lane washi tape, which is in the mini catalog, and if you haven't seen it, it looks like this. It comes in a roll, a lot of it, and it has a repeat pattern of about 10 inches. I'll pull it out so you can see. So you can see where it starts here. The stems are there. And then if you pull it all the way out, and it's sticky, of course, there's the repeat. You can see where the space kind of is. So it's about 10 inches. So what you need to do is you need to mount this washi tape either on white cardstock, or in this case, I used vellum. So I will show you what I got. I got all these pieces, and they're backed. The washi tape is on vellum. So they look kind of foggy, if you know what I mean. Now, they say the two colors are Pretty Peacock and Garden Green. So I think I'm going to choose most of the Garden Green ones. I'm going to just sort of separate them so you can see that. These are kind of Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock looking pieces. And then these ones are the Garden Green ones. So I will just show you. This is the set. There's the Greenery Lane stamps, and there's the dies. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 dies that you can cut out of this washi tape, and I will show you. I'll show you the washi tape if you haven't seen it. I put a 10-inch section onto a piece of white cardstock. So that's all the pieces that you get in the 10-inch section, and here's the dies. So this particular die cuts this one. Well, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ones that you can cut with that one. This die cuts this one. Now this one, there's only 2 on a strip, a dark green one and what I would call Lost Lagoon on there. Then there's this one. This one cuts this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then this leaf, it cuts out this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. And then there's all these little flowers. Well, you get 2 dies that look like this, and they cut out these little flowers if you wanted them. So there's lots of, that's not the right way, is it? This way. There's lots of cutting out to be done. Die cutting. And so you can see out of a 10-inch piece how many of these pieces you would get out. So this is done, like I said, on the white. This was done, I used a piece of vellum that was 10 inches. And the washi tape is about 3.5 inches wide. So I cut my piece of paper a little wider just in case when I laid it out, it went crooked. It's very easy to work with, very easy. And we do have some other washi tape that was in our annual catalog. And it was similar, except it had one big die that cut out a bunch of different things. But this is lots of fun to work with. So that's what I'm going to use to embellish my greeting here. So what I thought, I would use just the greens, because these ones are okay, but I don't think I'm going to use them. So my thought was I would use my greeting like this, and I would just tuck some of these in, maybe even, I don't know that I'm going to use that big one, even in behind, like behind the vellum, and maybe behind here like that. And just, I'm going to put them up on dimensional. So I thought, I think that'll look really neat. So let me get some dimensionals here. There we go. And I'm going to build this. So I think what I'm going to do is, because the vellum, you don't want to put glue on your vellum where it's going to show, but this is going to go on, I'm going to put my birthday wishes here, happiest birthday wishes. I'm going to put it up on just 2 dimensionals. And then I'm going to be able to tuck some of these things behind it. I'm going to put it on the vellum piece, and then I'll know where I want to put my glue on the vellum to attach it to that bigger piece. Okay, so it's going to look like this. I don't have this straight. So like that. I hope everybody has had a good end of January and beginning of February. I was away from the 15th of January till February 3rd, I think, is when I came home. So I did miss a lot of things, and definitely a lot of Stampin' Up! Things that were going on, I'll tell you. There was a lot of news happening while I was away. I was in Hawaii on the Big Island, so a a lot of things were happening there. The volcano was erupting and causing a lot of problems for people that live on that side of the island. Just looking at my pieces and wondering if maybe I want them like this one here, and maybe this one just over here like that. I think that looks good. I don't want to overdo it with the greenery, and I'm hoping it doesn't get lost on my card because the card is quite busy, as you can see, but I think I will do it like this. So I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on the back of my pieces and tuck them in here. This one's gonna go like that. There. This one, I might need my take your pick tool to help me here a little bit. Don't want this, sorry, don't want this to move around. Okay, and this one, oops, I don't have this glued down yet, so we'll just, I was trying to get these pieces put in there before I glued it all together, but I might have to glue it so that these things will stay. Do I want that? No, I think I want that there. So again, I'm just using my take your pick tool and just putting it, it's vellum on vellum, but it will stick. Okay, then I think I want this piece to be up here, coming out from behind the vellum. So I'll put it on the white card stock there, the bigger square. Okay, so I think, whoops, just pick that up a little bit. I want this one to be maybe, I just have to sort of center that. I want it like that. Okay, so I'm going to stick it down there. Now I can turn this over and I can put my glue where the white square is, and it's not going to show through. That's the tricky thing with vellum, is the glue shows through. So I could have put this up, the vellum piece even up on dimensionals, but I thought that might be a bit much. So I think I'll just stick it down like that and give it a second, because vellum likes to slide around. I think that looks good, like that. And then I thought that's where it's going to go on my card. And again, I'm going to put it up on dimensionals. So I like that. I'm not sure. I may want to glue these down on this card. Kind of thinking I do want to glue them down. Don't like the fact that they're sticking up like that. My other sample card, you'll see them, and I left them standing up. So just to give you a different look. So just a little bit of glue on each one, and it'll stick it down like that. Okay, so now this going up there like that. That looks really nice. I think that looks good. It is a very busy pattern, but it's interesting how it's done. I like it. I think, just don't know if that, I think it'll be okay if I put this up on dimensionals. So I'm going to do it in the 4 corners, and I think that'll be okay. Let's see here. Because I don't want it, I think that'll be all right. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. All right, peel those backings off. Oh, there we go. Got that one. There we go. I knew one went flying there. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to just drop it on, try to center it so it looks even, top, bottom, side to side, and press it down. There we go. I like the look of that. I think that's really neat. And these just add a little extra something to it. Okay, and I told you I was going to use the butterflies that are in the last chance list. I have a few of them here, so I think I'm going to put the big one there, and a couple of small ones. And I noticed I have one small one in my pack here, so I think I'm going to, I wonder if I can put it there. Put it there maybe, right on that leaf. Whoop. Maybe put it right on the leaf there. And I see I have one little one in the package here that I'll use up. Left over from my last package, I guess. If I can get it out of there. There we go. So I'll use this one up. All right, one there, one there. Do I want one right on here? Just don't want it to be the same. There. All right, so there's a little bit of bling on it. I think that looks good. Now for the inside, I had already stamped my greeting, wishing you a day filled with many happy moments. And I'm going to put it in there like that. And this piece, like I said, it was going this way. It's directional. And I think I'm going to just add it right next to the fold there. I think that'll look good. I could have put another piece of this inside. I think that would have looked nice too. So you can do whatever you like. All right. I have quite a few ideas for my upcoming videos to come. Seeing I've been away and not been in my craft room, I've collected up a few ideas of things that I want to make with you. And of course this weekend, Saturday is Valentine's Day, I think. Yes, Saturday is Valentine's Day. I did make Valentines for my grandkids, but they're already in the mail, of course, so I can't share them with you. I used the bee stamp set because it has some cute greetings in it with those bees. There we go. Okay, so there's our card. Let's get rid of that out of there. So there's our card. This paper is so gorgeous. I just love this whole package of paper. So there's that. Opens like that. I think that's a beautiful birthday card. And I will bring in the other card that I made. And of course, it's done with retired product. It was a 6x6 pack of paper. You might remember it had a lot of rainbows and sunshines on it. So this was one piece of paper. It doesn't reverse, as you can see. This is totally different paper that I used on the outside edges. So whatever works for you. Like this one, I used the same piece of paper. This one, I used two different pieces of paper. And again, just covered up the messy center where I do the folding. And I put a piece of that paper in there again. That textured notes dies. I'll miss them now that they're on the retired list. They were a must-have for me because I sure liked using them for the insides. All right, so introduce the washi tape to you. And there's what it looks like on white paper. And of course I used vellum today, but it's lots of fun to work with and you sure get a lot. There's a lot of, I don't know how many 10-inch pieces you'd get, but there's a lot there. All right, I think that's it. The dimensions will be, for this card, will be underneath the video. And I think the only other thing I wanted to mention is I am having an in-person class on February 21st, which is a Saturday. And we are using the beautiful, lovely and beautiful paper. If you haven't seen it, it is gorgeous. I will share that with you. But these are the 4 cards that we're making. You can see them there. Lots of gold on it and lots of different colors, as you can see. I can share that paper with you. I have the 6 sheets out here. So this one is, you can see that this is a specialty paper, so it has the gold on it, and it reverses over to metal pink. This one, very subtle, this one, but has lots of gold on it. Reverses over to the fresh freesia. This one is interesting. It's a tiny little pattern, but all the gold is in the center of the flowers. And it reverses over to this beautiful piece, which is Old Olive. This one, over to Calypso Coral. So you can see all the different colors in this paper. It really is quite a mixture. Now this is, I've got it on the wrong side. This is the gold side. So this paper, you can sponge on it and color those flowers in. It's like a emboss resist. Beautiful. And then it reverses over to this tiny little pattern. And then this is the last piece. So this piece has a lot more Calypso Coral in it, but it's Calypso Coral, Old Olive, Fresh Freesia, Petal Pink, and I think that might be all the colors. Oh, there is a yellow. They say on the package that the yellow is, I'm going to bring the package in here, Darling Duckling. Well, when I used it making a card, this is the yellow here. I think it's more daffodil myself. So that's what I used with when I was using my yellow. But that's what they're saying, it's Darling Duckling. So you can see there's yellow on quite a few of the sheets. Beautiful paper. So that's what we're using for the in-person class. These cards can also be porch pickup, or they can be mailed out to you for an extra $5. So you would get everything to make all the cards, but not the stamping. So I used banner sayings and fabulous sayings for these 4 cards. So those are the things I used. But you would receive all the die cuts and all the card bases, the ribbon or twine, the embellishments. Okay, so the card class is $20, or if you're picking it up or having it mailed, it's $20. But if you're having it mailed, it's the extra $5 on there. All right. I think that's all the news I have to share with you today, and I look forward to seeing you next week.